A primary for state school superintendent is often a sleepy contest in Wisconsin, but Tuesday's primary just got a little more interesting. One candidate is now claiming another offered to drop out in exchange for a high-paying job, a personal driver, and total control over the state's largest school districts. The two educators in question are vying to unseat Superintendent Tony Evers, who's running for re-election. The two are former Dodgeville School Administrator John Humphreys and former Beloit and Whitnall School District Superintendent Lowell Holtz. Humphreys claims Holtz made him the offer. Holtz calls that baloney. The top two vote-getters will go on from Tuesday's primary. We're talking more about this race now with J.R. Ross. He is the editor at our editorial partner, WisPolitics.com. J.R., it's good to have you back on the program, and let's talk about these revelations in the last week of this primary campaign. How much damage does this cause to Lowell Holtz or to John Humphreys?
Well, in talking to people this week, kind of from the 30,000-foot view, the sentiment was, in general, this reminds people what they hate about politicians, right? There are two guys who, depending on who you want to believe, are offering each other a six-figure salary, a driver, all taxpayer funded, to do a job that's supposed to be about the kids. So that's the damaging piece. Now, pulling back a little bit, what people have been watching in Madison is who's going to emerge in this primary. There's been almost no money spent from either side going into the race on Tuesday. Whoever emerges, though, could be damaged by this revelation, this story, because do you really want to put money behind, if you're a conservative group, do you really want to invest in a guy who's involved in a discussion like this ahead of the primary?
So that's the big question, whether outside groups, groups who favor expansion of school choice, for instance, whether they get into this after the primary. We don't know yet.
No, and when talking to some people associated with that movement, the sentiment I've gotten from them is that they've been watching to see, one, who emerges, and then two, they'll look at that person and say, okay, is this a viable alternative to Tony Evers? Because Evers, while he's been willing to work on school choice, is not seen as an advocate for the program. So these groups are saying, okay, if we got somebody who's a real opportunity to beat Evers, we'll invest. That makes the question then, will those who back Tony Evers match that dollar for dollar in the final week? It could be a sleepier race until the last week of March and all of a sudden explode on the TV screen.
J.R., let's move to the U.S. Senate race in 2018 and Congressman Sean Duffy's decision not to run in that race. Based on what we know, why do we think that Congressman Duffy decided not to run?
Well, he cited family. And on the surface, lots of politicians cite family as a reason for not doing something or taking on a challenge. But there's a kind of some nuance with it with Duffy. He's got 8 kids, for example. 2 of them are not yet in school. That's a concern. He barely breaks a sweat running for his House seat every 2 years. A Senate campaign would be an 18-month slog for basically now until next November that would take him away from home, put him on every Republican Lincoln Day dinner and dairy breakfast around the state until the election is over. That's a concern. And 3, he's got a safe seat and a steady paycheck. We don't know what the environment's going to be like in 2018 yet. Right now we're seeing President Trump having some issues where his poll numbers are bad. The midterm elections are often seen as a referendum on the power and party of the White House. If these numbers continue for President Trump, and it's a bad year for Republicans next year, it makes taking on Tammy Baldwin a dicier proposition. So there's lots of, risk that Duffy would have taken going that race. And oh, by the way, he's in line right now to be a committee chair within another couple of years. That's something you kind of have to think hard about passing up if you want to run for Senate.
J.R., we're expecting, at least it looks like we might have a fairly crowded GOP primary because of Duffy's decision not to get into the race. Who are the people who are seeming at this point to be most likely to run?
Kevin Nicholson's a former Marine and now a business consultant. He's all but in the race from what I can tell. So I would count on him running. Then you have like all these folks who, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. Scott Fitzgerald, the Senate Majority Leader in the state Senate. What will he do? If he runs, he'd be a formal candidate. He was an early backer of Donald Trump. If he's a president, might look favorably upon him, might help him out. Leah Vukmir, another state senator, is also, by the way, the assistant majority leader. Might Scott's decision influence hers? Dale Kayunga is a state lawmaker in the Assembly. He also, by the way, is in Vukmir's Senate seat. If Leah were to run, would Dale think about running for the state Senate? I mean, there are all kinds of pieces that have to fall before you know what's going to happen there. And then, there's Eric Hovde, who ran in 2012 and came in second, I believe, to Tommy Thompson. But if you have a crowded primary where they spend lots of money, race to the right to try and please a conservative base, and then come out next August broke and bruised, all the better for Tammy Baldwin, much like in 2012 when Tommy Thompson won a four-way primary, but was depleted financially after that race, and Baldwin spent the next couple of weeks after that race was over defining him as not for you anymore, and that stuck. It hurt him badly.
J.R. Ross is with WisPolitics.com. That's our editorial partner here on Upfront. J.R., it's good to have you back on the program. Thanks very much for being with us.
Anytime, Mike.
Coming up next, the former business executive who is the subject of a lot of political speculation in Wisconsin.